Toxic Commando is a game that I was drooling over, but did it live up to the hype? Well, it's your host, the best gamer of all time, the man that wears the orange suit and tie and sunglasses and all, and we're going to be going over the positives and the negatives and positives again. So if you're still trying to figure out if you should get this game, this video shall help you out, and I'll answer any comments that I may have missed in this video. So make sure you leave a comment down below. So let's talk about gameplay. So there's 4 classes and 4 characters. Some classes I do find clearly better than others, but I'll cover that in my tier list video, so make sure you subscribe. There is the medic class that provides temp health, but you could change the abilities. Like for an example, with the medic class, you could change the ability where you give permanent health, and it's where you can make a circle and people within that circle gets that permanent health compared to the basic version, which like I said gives out temp health. But if players are actually sitting next to you, right? And this applies for all the classes. Like for example, you could be striker and you can actually use the one where it's just a basic and you're just shooting the ball, the electric fireball, and it's shooting hordes and hordes into the zombies, to hordes of the undead. Or you can actually go for another one that might be actually dealing with something different, changing up your gameplay. The medic class, for example, does it all, with health, temp health, or permanent health. Like I said, this is why I'm actually going to be making a tier list, because there are some situations where you're going to find out very fast, I would say, about which abilities that you should be rocking with and what abilities you should not be rocking with. So there's actually a defender class which has a dome around you, which is a good way to revive people. And striker, like I said, which launches electricity fireballs, dealing a lot of AoE and CC. The operator offers a more tactical gameplay style. There is this drone that assists the team by attacking enemies and helping with vehicle repairs. This makes the operator especially useful during missions that involve transportation. Now, this game really wants you to have friends. The lack of communication can really hurt your experience. That being said, I believe in any horde shooter, it's better to have communication, and this game is really no different. The fact that the gameplay is like an open map, and if you decide to split up like you see in the background video, you're ultimately going to lose the mission. Yeah, someone came in. Okay, but look at our team though. We are very organized. We have one person all the way on the right and one person all the way on the left. Very organized team. See, I play matches with randoms and with friends, so I can get the full experience for this review. If you get randoms who are pinging things, then your experience can be good, but if you're getting a bunch of people wanting to go in their own way, it's a bad run. The missions themselves can range from you transporting a vehicle holding some type of atomic bomb where you can't exit to a certain range because you may suffer damage, and missions where it's like a free world and driving where you want. I'm shooting!
Oh my god.
Go. We're doing it! Oh my god!
Ah!
Damn! Oh,
I'm
man.
not in the car anymore!
Oh my god! Oh my god! Okay,
What happened?
The vehicle burned. The vehicle's burning. I don't know.
Come back for me!
The vehicle...
Oh my god, it exploded! I can't. What is...
Okay. If you ever played Space Marines 2 and seen hordes of monsters coming your way, this gives you that same feeling. Zombies and hordes of the undead swarming you, and it's that amazing feeling towards the end of the mission where it's like, I give one word, it's like a spectacle, right? It's super cool. It's super cool to see hordes and hordes of zombies coming your way, and it seems like all odds are against you. I love that feeling. But that being said, there was some glitchy moments. For an example, I couldn't switch my weapons, and the healing other teammates can be described as a bit clunky.
Pretty sure we don't have gas. Hey! Hey! Hey, who? Oh, thanks.
You feel good? You feel good?
River.
You feel good? Thank you.
Hey, he's gonna run me over! I was putting gas in the car. Oh, exciting.
Oh, there you go. I still can't switch weapons, but it's okay. Now I got shotgun now, and now I feel good. There were some moments that I could not get into some boxes for whatever reason, and it's just a little bit, there's some moments that you guys can feel, right? Especially if you're playing the meta class, because that's what the class I was playing. so I have more experience with the meta class, and I'm trying to heal up my other teammates. But the fact is, though, that they're trying to move away, and when they're moving away, it actually messes up pretty much my game. Like, for whatever reason, I'll be stuck in an animation, or like I said, I can't be switching weapons. So the only way for me to switch weapons, and I had to actually deal with this, was that I had to literally go find weapons around the world and actually switch that weapon. That was the only way for me to do it, because I couldn't switch to my secondary weapon, or I couldn't switch to my grenade launcher. So it's kind of a big bug, especially if you're playing on higher difficulties, because that could be a game breaker one if you're actually are at the end of the mission. And the missions in this game are incredibly long. They can be short if you just go directly to the main objective, which I do like. I like how it gives you that freedom of choice. But the thing is, though, if you go do that, you're going to have the final encounter that I call the spectacle. It's going to be very difficult. Like, I'm saying this right now, like, I had moments where we basically lost because none of us were prepared for it. None of us actually had the gears, the spare parts. None of us were able enough to, you know, actually make traps, make turrets, to make the miniguns. There is those moments, and it's really hurtful in the game. So you got to actually spend that time and actually go look for that stuff, to actually go find it, right? So I enjoy that, don't get me wrong, and I enjoy that. But the thing is, though, is that, you know, that could be the player's fault, not, you know, which is my fault in a way, not necessarily the game dev's fault. But I do feel like those missions really last a long time. Like, you can be in there for like 30 to 40 minutes, maybe even longer sometimes. I honestly, you know, was streaming this game, and I felt like some of the missions, I felt like to me it was an hour. Now, I had fun, but sometimes it overstays its welcome. So I do want to mention that, and I don't want to be completely biased, because, you know, especially if you stay at the end of this video, I am going to give it an overall rating. Let's actually now talk about the vehicles. The vehicles in this game is actually pretty cool. There's actually some vehicles where basically you can have a medical vehicle, which I can actually give you some permanent health, which is actually really nice. There's some vehicles that honestly just, you know, look basic, pretty much have a turret, and that's it. You got a turret, start killing some zombies, start having a blast, right? There's some vehicles where, in short, you pretty much are just driving super fast, zooming everywhere. But that being said, the vehicles can actually put you in these spots where it's just like mud on the floor and you can't get out of it. So you have to be kind of using that hook awfully a lot. I expect actually the future of this game, where you're actually going to be using, you know, the meta will most likely be you using the hook to actually get to faster places, or to get you to turning like those hooks around. And also, I just want to also mention this too. There's actually a part in the stream that we're actually going to put up right now, that somebody was actually using the hook to actually go on top of the building, which was pretty funny. But we actually had to do it because we didn't have any spare parts left over. So we actually had to use the hook to get on top of the building so we could actually use the turret, because we had to keep that turret alive because we have so much turret ammo. I mean, I do admire that there was actually some creativity in it, and I in a weird way, I hope it actually doesn't get patched, because I actually found that pretty cool. I found it like we kind of we got rewarded for something that maybe not people didn't think about, and I actually find that cool. So hopefully they actually don't patch that. Trying to make the vehicle come all the way up here.
Yes. Look at this. Sway, are you taping this?
Oh yeah, yes, I'm taping this right now. My grandma's gonna see this. This is gonna be a play. Oh my!
Pretty impressive.
Yeah, it is actually really impressive. Look, I would never think of like, yeah, dude, let's move that vehicle.
You made them for all those mines. Every one of them.
That's what you're supposed to take it out of the box.
If I could just flip over the right way.
Yeah, okay. As long as you don't, you know.
Okay. I got you, dude.
Like, what is going on
here?
I'm putting pressure right here.
There we go.
Yeah.
Perfect. Actually, you know what? Let's move that up a little bit.
There we go.
Yeah,
oh.
We got another turret.
Oh my god. That is so insane right now. We have so many turrets.
Yeah. Pro shreds.
Right.
So the vehicles in this game, in my eyes, are actually pretty cool. I mean, they're not like super special, but they're cool enough to be like, well, thank God, you know, we got some cool vehicles and they actually do some things. But now let's actually talk about the story. Players mention that there's actually no banter between characters and it felt bland at points. Now, I'll not argue that isn't true, but I will argue that there is something more important, which is the gameplay, like we just talked about. But if you guys don't know me, I play Space Marines 2, and I do the co-op. I don't care about the fact that there is no banter between the classes, because the gameplay is just fun. Payday 2 doesn't even have much of a banter between the characters either. That being said, I do welcome it, and I especially welcome it in the actual storyline and the cutscenes, because what I see from it is very lacking. Horde shooters genre with a lot of games, I'll say, is always lacking in the story department. Darktide, Payday 3, Killing Floor 3, there's a lack of story in the Horde shooters, and I was hoping this would be different because it has the name John Carpenter, which is pretty much, like I said, the guy that actually made, you know, The Thing, the Halloween, like, they made this stuff, right? And I was thinking, oh crap, maybe we might actually get a good story. You know, in my eyes, there are some moments where the characters actually said some things and I actually chuckled a bit, I'm not gonna lie. But there's also some things where I feel like, oh, okay, well, I mean, that's cool. They said some stuff. I mean, they're giving us some personality. And I know some people will argue and say this because I was talking to my friend that said that the characters are pretty much, you know, standard typical characters, you know, a guy that is actually just being like, oh yeah, you know, dude, I'm super cool, I'm super, you know, super nonchalant. Hopefully we get more missions that come up later that it can actually dive in more to their personalities a bit more and flesh it out. Also, the storyline, which by the way, I don't want to spoil too much of it, but I will say this right now, where basically in the very first mission, you actually get infected. So you get infected and, you know, Leon ends up coming, which is actually this science tech guy, ends up coming and actually puts a vest on you to stop the infection. I mean, that's cool and all, like, don't get me wrong. I mean, it's a very, you know, cool concept, but I do see this in a lot of other games. I'm not gonna lie, I see a lot of games where basically you're infected and then you're, you know, you have something that prevents you from not being infected. But in a weird way, the missions don't really do anything to actually really say that you're infected, if that makes sense. Like, for an example, there's not like something that you have to get in game where like maybe you have to get something to stop the infection, maybe for whatever reason the vest is actually not working and you have to get something to stop the infection. It just doesn't really do anything. So in a weird way, even though the storyline you're infected, the gameplay doesn't really portray that. Like, honestly, as funny as it is, and I know this might sound silly, but when I was actually playing this game and I actually skipped the dialogue and I skipped the storyline, so I had to actually go back and actually look at that intro because I didn't care. I know this might sound silly, I know it might. You can literally, you know, I was playing with my coworker, I thought like there was tattoos. I thought they were, because to be honest with you, they don't really come into play that much in the story. I didn't even know we were infected. I honestly thought like they were just like, oh, okay, there's some tattoos. I mean, I guess so. I mean, maybe we got all matching I don't know. Maybe we were brother and sister. So I took the time to actually know about the story and look into that. But like I said, it's really not much to write home about. I'm actually a bit confused why John Carpenter is actually tied to this game, and maybe someone can explain it down in the comments, because this isn't like the movie The Thing or Halloween. It's a horde shooter where lots of bullets are going to be flying around. The stories, unfortunately, isn't anything groundbreaking. It really isn't. There is the hub world, which is actually, you know, as you guys may know, if you guys actually seen my Killing Floor 3 review, there is this hub world. And let me say this right now, I don't necessarily like hub worlds in games anymore, since every game company does it, and I don't know why they do it, to be honest with you. But there is this, you know, it's cool. You mean, you can actually play basketball in this hub world, you can test out your weapons, you can do these things. I'm not gonna lie, I mean, it is pretty cool. You can actually customize your characters, you can actually change your loadout, you know. So I guess it's not necessarily super bad, you know. It's just that I get a little bit confused why video games do this and what's wrong with just like a main menu thing, you know? What's wrong with that? I don't know. There are some things that I do want to mention though, and let's actually go right back. Some of the things that I kind of wish, and maybe going forward, you never know, maybe they can actually add them in. The problem that I have with it is that after you're done with the missions, because there's only 9 missions. Only 9 missions. Maybe that might be a game breaker for some people, a deal breaker, I should say. And some people would be like, well, I don't really want to get this game if it's only 9 missions. So that's why I'm actually surprised that there is no survival horde mode. this would actually add more replayability to it, because now it's like, okay, cool, now you can see how many waves you can go on. And I actually like Space Marines 2's Horde wave, which is like there's 25 waves and it's just ongoing ridiculous. Like, it's just crazy. So I'm surprised they didn't actually add something like that. I'm also surprised that they don't actually add like a very challenging mode for all those people that are really looking for some hardcore stuff. I'm also like surprised about a bit about the customization, because sometimes you're changing the customization with your weapons and it's just you changing the color of your weapon. But I mean, obviously there are some customizations that apparently I have missed that, you know, some players actually told me about, that when you prestige, you actually can get a camo. So you never know. So if you're a customization fan, maybe there are some customizations beyond that prestige level. I think the game overall, I would say this right now, like, I absolutely love this game. I think this game is amazing, but it does have some flaws. And I'm also going to have to say this right now. I'm reviewing this game by the price that I also paid for it. In case you don't know, if you actually have Space Marines 2 or DayZ, you can actually, oh, sorry, is it Z-Day? World War Z? Sorry, it's World War C, sorry. But if you actually have like one of those two games, right, you can actually get the game cheaper. So I actually got this game cheaper because I have that. It's $10 off once if you have Space Marines 2, and if it's $10, another $10 off if you have World War Z. So that being said, that might affect my review for the game, because I'm a person who actually goes by the dollar an hour thing. So if you actually can get this game for $20 for an example, I think that is actually a steal, to be honest with you. I mean, compared to like other games, like let's compare to even Space Marines 2, which is actually another game that they have, right? Space Marines 2 is literally $60 right now still. I'm not saying that Space Marines 2 isn't worth it, but that is $60. There is other games like, you know, like I said, there's other games like World War Z, which is actually really a lot too. There's other games like Black Ops 3 if you're looking for horde shooters. Black Ops 3, Call of Duty in general, freaking $60, $70 every day. There's Killing Floor 3, which, you know, Killing Floor 3 has about freaking, what was the price for Killing Floor 3? $40. So why am I bringing up the price about all of this? I think you're getting a lot for the price that you paid for. I think you're getting a lot of content there. I think you're also going to, if you're like me and you like those build varieties and you love those weapons and leveling up those weapons, which by the way, we haven't even talked about the progression in this game, which is basically you actually getting your guns and actually leveling up those guns, putting attachments on those guns, because you actually can get the, I think it's pronounced sluggets, where you can actually use those orange little crystals and actually put attachments on those weapons, which is cool. That's great. I mean, you can customize your weapon more, you know. For me, you get all this type of content. You get this, you get like a unique little experience. In my eyes, I will say this right now, I haven't experienced a horde shooter like this. You know, I experienced, you know, Left 4 Dead 2 is kind of like a horde shooter gauntlet. You know, Black Ops 3 is also following that. I never experienced one where it's like a semi-open world where you actually can go to places and actually get some items. And there's also, like I said, the classes there. So overall, what do I think about the game? On a scale to 1 to 10, I think it's an 8 out of 10, folks. I really think so. I think everybody should go and pick up this game. I haven't got, you know, I have no bias there. Like, the company didn't really send me any type of review copy or anything. This is just from me playing the game, playing hours and hours on end on it. I honestly think it's an 8 out of 10. Like I said, the only reason why I haven't made it a 10 out of 10 is because there are some minor glitches in it. There are some modes that I wish was actually in there to help out the thing. And there are the storyline is also pretty just blah, you know. But I actually think the gameplay is fun, making it an 8 out of 10, making it out something that you guys should get. And if you guys are looking for people to play with, because like I said, any horde shooter, you're not going to have fun if you don't have any friends. So if you leave a comment down below and say something that would be like, hey, Slay, I'm actually wanting to play with you. Is there a possibility we can play together? I will be absolutely excited to play with people, because I am still looking for people to play with. I'm still looking for a dedicated group. So if you actually want to join in, by all means, leave a comment down below or join in the Discord server. Folks, it's the best gamer of all time, and I am signing off. Thank you guys all for watching.